Hey y'all, I am Nikki, and this is the Yarn Everywhere podcast, and this is episode 16. So, in this podcast, I share with you all of my crochet, knitting, yarn things, and it's called the Yarn Everywhere podcast because I literally have yarn everywhere. Like, look, I have yarn on my chair. There's yarn stacked over here. I'm in the middle of my yarn club ship outs right now. So there's literally like yarn everywhere. And I have a really small office. So it's like overflowed into my living room, my guest bedroom. Yeah. So literally there's yarn everywhere. And that is how the podcast got its name. So today I am going to share with you what I'm working on. I'm pretty much working on the same things I was last week. So I'll show you those real quick and then I'll show you the new thing that I'm working on. Um, this is the Sassy Wrap. I wasn't sure how I was going to lay out these colors because those of you that have known me for a while know that like I'm kind of a lazy crocheter. Not really lazy. I just like simple. I don't want to have a lot of ends to weave in. And I think that's why I love variegated yarn because you can get like all the colors you want with minimal effort. Like I don't have to weave in a bunch of ends. So with this yarn, when I started designing it, I knew I wasn't going to have enough yarn. So I reached out to Lori to help me pair yarn. So I'm having to use 4 different colors for this. So I was like, how am I going to lay this out? So I finally decided, and I really, really think I like it. So the reason why I'm laying it out the way I am is because this color right here, the white with the speckles, that is sparkle. It has a sparkle to it. And then this tonal has a sparkle to it. So I kind of wanted to break up a little bit of the sparkles. So I'm really, really liking it. And I can't wait to finish it, but it's sock weight yarn, so it feels like I'm moving in slow motion. But I have made some progress. So that's like the favorite thing, my favorite thing that I'm working on right now. Like I cannot wait to finish it. And I'm still working, well, I'm really not working on this one because I want to finish that one, but I'm doing the same design in DK weight. And this is my Morning Glory colorway. So while I was waiting on more yarn, I was like, I have this pattern in my head and I can't get it out and I don't want to stop. So that's why I went with the DK weight. All right, let me show you what I'm working on that's new. Hey, Rakina. Hey, Missy. Yes, that sparkle yarn. I think the next time that I order yarn, I think I'm going to order a couple packs of the sparkle because I kind of have some ideas and I want to play. I always thought, isn't it funny how we like make decisions in our head before we actually try it? I always thought like the sparkle would be kind of rough. But it's really not. Like you hardly know. Like I can't really feel a difference like when I'm working with it. So I'm working on some stash busting squares. This one is I call it country bumpkin. It's my country bumpkin pattern. I have a a country bumpkin pumpkin and a country bumpkin mug hug. And what else do I have? A coffee cozy. So this is just a country bumpkin square. So each month in our yarn club, or in my yarn club, we do a stash busting square. And we started this in, I think, June of last year. So it has been really fun, but I have misplaced my squares. So I'm going through a lot of my scrap yarn and remaking the squares. Here is the Trinity stitch square, y'all. I love the Trinity stitch so much that I ended up making my little nephew's baby blanket with the Trinity stitch. It took a while, but it was worth it because man, like look at that texture. I just love it. And this yarn here is one of the first colorways that I dyed. I want to say like within the first 6 months that I was dyeing yarn. So this is one I've been holding on to for a while and I'm just obsessed. Like I wish I took better notes because I would love to repeat that. Um and then this is the second month's square. And this one is Danielle at a Naughty Habits Designs design. And I love it. I love the way that it feels and the stretchiness of it. And don't know I don't know what colorway this was. It was probably one of those that I just went nuts speckling. And so that's all the squares that I have right now. But let me show you the scrap yarn. I literally have been hoarding it. You saw the one that I'm making the country bumpkin with. I have a little cake of jewels left. I really need to weigh these and see if I can make a project with them. But I think they'll make really pretty squares. And then I love, y'all know how I am about pink. The pink with the black. That's another favorite of mine. Okay, I probably should have put this back in the bag. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is another one of a kind that, oh my goodness, y'all, this was a favorite. Like, look at those colors. As you can tell, I love just like all the colors. This is another one. Okay, so this one is one of my finger paint yarns. And this is when, oh my gosh, I didn't even know when this was. It was a while ago, but at the time, I used every single dye color that I had for this yarn. Like I'll never forget this yarn. And I kept it. I was like, I can't get rid of it. I love, 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 love it. Let's see. This is the one I've already showed you. And then here's the purple that I need to recake. So a lot of these are like some of my very first colorways that I have just kind of hoarded. And I don't know. Right now, I am thinking that I'm going to make a blanket, but we'll see. And then here's some mood swings. I still have a good bit of that. I really need to weigh this stuff and make sure I can't make a project with it. But anyway, so these are just a few of the scraps that I have found. I literally, like I said, I have yarn everywhere. And then I went through and found some like old whips that I have no idea what I was doing. I didn't have any notes on or anything. So I have those in a tote and I plan on frogging them. And what I do is I like attach it to my yarn swift and then I'll unfrog it that way and get it back into like one giant infinity circle. And then I'll take some like some just scrap cotton yarn or something and do some tie-ins. And then I will take it and I will wash it in some soak. And then I just dry it and then I just hang it back up to dry. And then once it's dry, I'll recake it. And what it does is it like, you know how like when you frog something, especially when it's been made for a while, it has like, it gives that crimped look. Well, by washing it and letting it dry, it'll just like straighten it all back out like brand new. So that's one thing I love about wool. So I found a ton of like really pretty colorways that I can't wait to play with. A lot of them were knit whips. Like I had no idea what I was doing. Like I wanted to make this cowl and I still hadn't like quite understood gauge yet as far as my knitting. So I just made this big square and I was just going to like whip stitch it together and it was not going to fit around my neck. So I can't wait to get that one undone. So I'll show you I think I showed y'all this last week, but I'm going to show it to you again. Finished my Brekken Cowl. And I am really enjoying this crochet along in my yarn club. I am obsessed with all of the beautiful whip picks that I'm seeing. And several of the members have finished their Brekken cowls and I'm just obsessed. Like y'all know I love texture and And I feel like this pattern is like the texture is just beautiful, even if it's like a heavily variegated yarn or a tonal. So I'm really enjoying seeing all of those. And then I finished the Verna Cowl, which is part of the Mother's Day kits that will be shipping out next week. And let me just show y'all. So the computer is opposite, so I don't know where to move. But isn't it beautiful? I'm seriously going to make another one, but I had a lot of stuff that I wanted to do, and when I started this one, I could not put it down. And I'm like, okay, I've got to be an adult. I have a bunch of other stuff I need to do. So I'm going to get like that stuff done before I start another one, because I already know like I'm going to want to sit and binge crochet. So if I'm good this week and I get all my stuff done, I'm probably going to be binge crocheting another one this weekend, just letting y'all know. All right, so that's really all of the whips and finished items. Oh, and I finished these squares. And let me show y'all what I got in this week. And I meant to put it over here, and it's over here. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry. Okay. So my friend Cheryl at Hypnotic Yarns has a subscription box, a yarn subscription box. And she sent me one, and I've got to show y'all. Oh my goodness. I love it. Hey, Jess. Thank you. Rakina, you're the reason why I love pink and black. Yeah, you've created a monster. Okay, so this is Cheryl at Hypnotic Yarns Yarnable box, and it's her April box, and it's called Mermazing, and it's like mermaid everything. So I love mermaid colors. So there is a tube of bath salts, and I'm pretty excited about this. One of my favorite things is soaking in the tub. And then this adorable keychain that is pretty spot on. And it says sassy since birth. I've always been a little sassy. Like, I'm sure that's really surprising for y'all. And then it says salty by choice, and which is funny to me because my maiden name is Morton, like the Morton salt. So, and my brother's nickname for like his childhood from his buddies was Salty. So anyways, I just thought it was perfect. And then there are these super cute binder clips. I love office supplies. Does anybody else love office supplies? Like binder clips, pens. Let me tell y'all something. In my former life, I may or may not have been a pen collector. Like, especially working in a pharmacy and wearing scrubs, like pens just went into my pocket. Like I would, go to a doctor's office and sign something, and there went the pen. And now like I have to catch myself because I'm like, after working in a pharmacy for years and years and years, you're just kind of a germaphobe. So I don't use public pens anymore, but I'm like, man, that pen, it looks like it writes really good. Anyways, it was a big joke at my old job that like no pens were safe around me, which was the truth. So I also love office supplies too. So like, I love it. Okay. So those were the extras. And now let me show y'all this yarn. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay. Are you ready? Look at that. I'm obsessed. Let me see. I just love it. And it's sock weight yarn. I'm like, if I don't stop keeping sock weight yarn, I'm never going to finish a project. Oh, sometimes I just don't know what to do with myself. Oops, I undid it. I guess that means that it's meant to be. I'm going to have to make something with it. I think even though I keep telling myself I'm only going to have one knit project at a time, I think I'm going to start another knit project. I really need to find a knit project that calls for like one hank of yarn instead of like trying to do a shawl or something like that. I don't know. So I would love your suggestions, like some sock weight knit projects That's beginner friendly. I don't know all that fancy stuff. Like I don't want fancy. I want I want easy. Like very like at the end of the day when I don't have any brain power, I can pick up my knitting needles and not think. That's what I need. So I would love to know like your go-to um beginner friendly knit patterns. Okay, so that's the only fun thing I got in this week, but it's definitely enough. Like I was so excited. I may or may not have squealed. I'm kind of like, "Oh my gosh, is this how my yarn club members feel?" Because now I kind of want to send myself a yarn box. Um okay. What's next here? So, I have some yarn to show you. Surprise, surprise. Okay, I do this thing with tonals. I can appreciate a really good tonal, but also I look at them and I see so much potential. So I need y'all's votes um, to leave it alone, put it in the shop, or over dye because I feel like I need an over dye day. Oh, Jess, the resin glitter pens. I think I'm gonna need you to send me a link to your shop. I love pens and glitter pens. Yeah. I also am like it was an old joke with my old boss, like, he orders pens, like, as marketing, and, so, like, our customers could take the pens if they wanted to, and so the company that he orders from would send him a free pen every couple of weeks, and so I would, like, rush to get the mail because I would spot the package, and if he wasn't there, I would open, like, the bottom of the envelope and get the pen out and then put the empty package on his desk, like nobody opened it, and, like, they just sent him an empty package, and he every time he would come out there, he's like, "Where's it at?" And I was like, "Ooh, it writes like butter too." Like, it's, like, the best pen in the whole world. I'd always end up having to give it to him, but it was a lot of fun. Okay, so I need y'all's opinion. Ooh, that's bright. Leave it alone. Okay, oh, there we go. It's like a very, very it's a little bit paler than what it's looking like on my screen. Um, okay, so I see this and I think, "Wow, that's really pretty," and it would be pretty with, a variegated or a speckled, but then I'm just like, "Wow, I could speckle this." Like, I'm thinking purple, pink, some blues, maybe a teal. Um, so I need y'all to tell me, like, okay, put it in the overdye pile or put it in the shop, Nikki. Like, let us get some tonals because I know a lot of people like to pair theirs, and I'm so bad about dyeing tonals. Um, yes, Kimberly, yes. I feel like you're an enabler like me. High five. Um, that's what I was thinking too. Yes, Danielle. Okay, I love it, I love it. And those of you that are watching live, I'm live on YouTube and I'm live on Facebook. So I'm not talking to myself when if you don't see a comment. So, okay. So I'm guessing over dye speckles. Yes. Okay. Y'all are awesome. So this is the same one. I'm thinking first thing, Rakina, thank you. I'm thinking black. Oh, you're so funny. You said leave it alone. Wow, for once you're not enabling me. Is this really Rakina? Have you been hacked? Okay, so again, my light is like right there. So this is a little bit brighter on the screen. But I was thinking too, like anytime I have a pink tonal, I immediately think I'm gonna drop this in some black dye and over dye it because I'm obsessed. But I really want to do it with that where is that blue color? I know I have okay, so I have this gorgeous blue, Caribbean blue. Um I have been wanting to try that for a long time now to over dye it with that blue because I think that would be gorgeous. But I also like the tonal and I also like speckles. Y'all see what my creative brain does? It's like no yarn is safe around me. So I kind of want to over dye that too. Pink and black. Yes. Too funny. Yes to see blue? Okay. So I have another pink somewhere, so I may have to do one black and one, Caribbean blue. Yes. Oh my gosh, y'all are gonna make me wanna go in there and dye yarn today. Um, and so then I have this one, which y'all know I love some teal, but this is a little paler than what I'm normally drawn to. So I was immediately thinking, "Speckles, surprise, surprise." Um, I don't know. We'll see. What are y'all thinking? This one may be safe. I don't know. And then, okay, y'all, y'all know when you have this picture in your mind and you're like, okay, this is going to be awesome, like awesome. And then it doesn't turn out so awesome. That's where I'm at on this one. Um, it just, I don't know. It's pretty. And I was more thinking, like, what I had in my head was a lot paler. Um, Coming from so I'm one of those, like, y'all know, I like bold, bright, jewel tone colors. And so when I try to go like a pale or a pastel, like I'm not used to like weighing out the dye powder for that. I'm like, well, what percent should I do it at? And so a lot of times it's just kind of a guessing game, and I guessed wrong on this. Like it's pretty. And I purple lovers, I bet will absolutely love it. But I immediately was just thinking of all the ideas of over dyeing it. And I have a sock weight too, that I left in the other room. And it actually turned out even darker, and it doesn't have a lot of the tonal changes in it. It's pretty dark. So I really don't like that one, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. The blue needs purple speckles. Yes, yes. Hey, Angela, thank you. So yeah, this was one of those that I was kind of disappointed in, but it's so funny because sometimes like things that I'm just like, well, I don't like that. People end up loving and they're like, no, I want it. So somebody will love it. It'll find a home somewhere if I don't over dye it. So that's all the like not safe yarn right now. And let me show y'all some more yarn that I have behind me. I had a dye day. Sometimes I just need a me dye day where I can just go in with and do whatever I want. There's no theme, there's no reason to keep notes. I'm just going to create. And I made myself to like try new things, like try colors that I normally wouldn't do. And I need y'all's opinions. So, I should have put these beside me, but literally I have no room. Let me make sure I didn't knock any in the floor. Okay. So, bulky weight yarn. I found I had literally yarn everywhere. I found several packages of bulky weight yarn, and this is my favorite because it's 2-ply, and oh my gosh, it is so, so soft. So I haven't twisted these up yet because they still feel a little damp. We've had a cooler snap here, so it's taken it longer to dry. But I did like a really nice concentrated coral color, so it leaned more red, and I very rarely do red. I picked up the red dye jar, and then I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I want to dye more red, but I just wasn't feeling it. So I compromised and went with coral. And then I did some navy blue speckles. And let me just tell y'all what I did. I had an oopsie. But you know what? Whenever it's an oops, it was a creative, it was just a creative moment. Like it was meant to be. So I had some aqua next to me because I was speckling aqua over a different color. And instead of doing navy on one side, I did some aqua. I don't even know if you can see it. Or no, I'm telling a lie. It's not this one. This one is all aqua. I had too many colors close together. So this one is aqua over coral, and it is really, really pretty. Okay, so I have a couple of those. And then, okay, this is the one that I was talking about. Like as soon as I said that, I'm like, I'm not seeing any navy. Okay, this is the one I was talking about. So it's like a mauve, and there is navy, and it's really pretty. And then this is where I had the oops, where I did some of the aqua. And it looks like it broke into some pink too. But I was kind of sad when it happened. I was like, no, you didn't. And then I was like, well, there's no going back now. but I think it worked out good. It looks really pretty. So I have a couple of those. All right. I'm really excited about this one. This one's giving me all the mermaid vibes. So I dyed some yarn. I don't even know when it was anymore. I can't keep up. And I called it Sully. From some cartoon. Everybody was telling me, like, it looks like Sully, it looks like Sully. So that's what I ended up calling it. And I had notes written down on it. And basically it said, like, I don't even know. It was bad. Like, I should have took a picture. It was like Sully, and then it had like so many grams of spearmint, and then it said Rakina pink and what was the other one? Caribbean blue. And I'm like, okay, so did I speckle those or did I mix them and pour it in? So I did both for this one. It it is so pretty though. I'm excited. I love that, like, I don't know, it was supposed to be like a mint base, but it's almost like a minty emerald. Like if mint and emerald had a baby, this is what you would get. And then the pops of pink and then that blue ended up making some really pretty purple spots too. I probably should have like made this pretty before I showed y'all. Let me see if I can pop it back into place here. Okay, this may be easier to see than in like a jumbled mess. All right, let's try that. There we go. So I'm really excited about this one. And for this one, I did one of my favorite methods. Literally, I just put it all in a pot and then just speckled over it. And it just, each one ends up coming out like totally unique. Okay. I feel like I've like overshown that. Sorry. As you can tell, I think this one's my favorite. Okay. Now this one is one of those that's not safe. Surprise, surprise. It's a tonal. I was thinking speckles, like purple, again, purple, pink, I don't know, orange. Oh, Angela, how sweet. It's my last name, but I absolutely love the name Avery. And I'm hoping that like when I have kids that I can gently bully them into be like, look, if you have a little girl, you're gonna need to name her Avery. Um, I love the name Avery. So I love this color, but again, my mind immediate is just like I could over dye that. I could speckle it. So we'll see. I think since I haven't had this in the shop yet, I think I may put it in the shop. And then if it doesn't sell in 2 minutes, I'm going to take it out and speckle it. I'm totally kidding about the 2 minutes, but like, you know, like give it a chance to find a home. And if it doesn't, then I'll over dye it. What do y'all think? Uh-oh, I just got it tangled up with some stitch markers. That's going to be fun later. Okay, 2 more. Here is, I don't know, like a pretty minty green. I love how this turned out. So I literally only used one dye color and look at all the different shades that it gave. It gave like the minty, but you can see pops of green in there. You see, it's so hard doing the opposite way of what I want to go. And then again, I speckled this with some navy. I was on a navy kick. Let's see if you can see that right there. But I really am loving some of the green that's showing. Thank you, Sharon. I'm really starting to appreciate good tonals, but you know, I see speckles. All right, so this last one I'm really, really excited about. And again, I had a different idea in my head. I'm not disappointed, but let me tell you, coral is a beast. Like I use, like, I swear, just like a sprinkle of it, and it turns out so saturated. I'm gonna have to use a different coral for a lighter tone. So I was hoping that this was gonna be more, not quite pastel, but softer, and it's not. But I still like it. So zebra yarn. I usually just do a solid color, but I'm trying something new and doing some more colors. Y'all, that blue, oh my goodness, it's so pretty. But I was really wanting to this to be about like 20 shades lighter. But I do love the different shades in there because I think it's really going to I think it's going to work out beautifully. And then this really pretty minty color, and then that blue. Like, I don't know why I don't use this blue more often. Um, it is really pretty. So let me see if I can hang this up real quick. So I have gotten really spoiled because I used to, when I first started dyeing yarn, every single hank of yarn was twisted by me. I would spend hours doing this. And then I bought a skein twister. And so I'm super, super spoiled by that. Okay. Isn't that pretty? Like, even though it turned out brighter, I think I like it. What do y'all think? So I only did a batch of 3, and now I think I'm gonna go back. I have a ton of zebra yarn left over, so I think I'm gonna go back and just do some more variegated. I kind of thinking some fall colors. Like I don't have it. Actually, I don't think I have any at all, but I had a color called sunflower flannel. That's it. And it is so gorgeous. It has brown in it. It's brown, mustard, and an orange in it. And it's really pretty. And I'm kind of thinking that would be really, really pretty on this. So I need another dye day where I can just go in and play with some variegated zebra yarn. Hey, Ginger. Thank you. Oh, it does, Rakina. Yeah. Um, so yeah, even though like I have to tell myself a lot when I'm dyeing yarn, like, don't judge it in the dye pot. And they even say, like, don't judge it until you twist it up, but I kind of judge it sometimes. I try not to, but it happens. Okay, let me see if I'm forgetting anything. So I'm shipping out my Yarn Club boxes on Monday. I'm super excited. I literally have a mess right now. So I'm no longer using the boxes. And I changed that just in time because there's literally like a cardboard box shortage. I'm like, wow. But with the shipping prices, I was losing, and the reason why I kept doing it is because I'm like, okay, it's like sometimes it was only 25 cents, sometimes it was 75 cents. But when you repeat that, 70 times, it adds up. But I don't want to raise my prices. So I'm like, something's got to give. And so I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to change to bags because the box space was also limiting me to what I could put in my box. So I don't know. I feel like I've just been freed now that I can put them in bags because the one of the items from this month definitely would not fit in the box. So I'm pretty tickled about that. But that means the way that I have shipped out since I started the Yarn Club 2 years ago is different. Like, I literally would put everybody's stuff in a box with their card, and then I could just stack it up, and it just took up so much less space. Well, now I put everything in a clear poly bag, and oh my goodness, like, I have them everywhere. So I've got to find a new system, but so it's faster when we ship out, but it seems like it takes me longer to like prep. But I have no regrets because I can put more stuff in there now. Let me see what else. Oh, so we are finishing up the Brekken Cowl crochet along in the Yarn Club, and I have had so much fun. It's my first like really official crochet along that I've ever hosted, and I have had so much fun. So I'm kind of thinking about doing one for the public. I don't know. Um, we'll see. Like part of me is excited and I want to just go ahead and release the pattern, but part of me is like, it would be really fun to do a crochet along with everybody. So y'all let me know what you think I should do. Let me see. I think that's all that I have for y'all this week. Thank you, Angela. You have a good day too. Um, So I feel like that was a lot. Thank y'all. I'm excited about the yarn and the potential for a overdye day coming up. So I, like I said in the last podcast, is I always have trouble starting and finishing the podcast. And so I feel so awkward at the end. I'm just like, So I am starting to do momentum moments at the end, and it's just some type of word of like encouragement and stuff like that. So this is what I have to say today. And it comes from a conversation that I recently had with somebody. And they were talking about how, like, when they go somewhere, that they tend to like kind of shrink back and kind of make themselves like small as possible. And I remember feeling that way. And one of the things that I've always said is I'm too much. Like, I'm sorry, I'm too much. Like, I come across wrong. I I guess I have a big personality to make up for my height because I'm not even 5 foot. I guess it's short person syndrome. I don't know. But that was one thing, like, I was always, like, catching myself and apologizing for myself because I'm like, "Okay, yes, I have a big personality." And, and I was always worried that I was making people uncomfortable, and so I would keep myself small and, um, in order to keep people comfortable. And so my encouragement to you today is there is a place for you. No matter where you're at, there is a place for you. And I want you to step into that and take up space. Like, you deserve that. And you know what? The world needs that. They need your uniqueness. And so many times, like, we pre-tell us, like, for instance, like, we'll just call it a table. Like, well, there's not a space for me at that table, or I don't belong at this table. And I just want to tell you that you belong at any table that you want to sit at. And, if you feel like you don't fit in, make your own table, because people, when you make the decision to be authentically who you are and not hold yourself back and not keep yourself small, you are going to attract the right people to you and the people that appreciate you for you. And that is something that I had started doing in the last couple years. And I want to tell you what, like, I'm so much happier now when I can just be me and I'm not going to apologize for it. Um, and I don't want to come across wrong for you, those of you that like don't know me. I'm not meaning to like, I'm not saying to be like a jerk. But I'm saying like, don't, um, don't keep yourself small because you feel like you're making people uncomfortable. And I know that I have made people uncomfortable before because of my personality. But you know what? That's not on me. That's on them. So that is my encouragement for you today. Um, just don't dull your shine. Don't dull your shine because you feel like, somebody is uncomfortable or they just don't understand you. Sometimes it's like we're trying to fit ourselves in a circle that we don't belong in. Not that we don't belong in, but we're not appreciated in. And that is something that has really just changed my life, is that I am now showing up as authentically me, and it's attracting people to me that um you can have really good lasting relationships with, friendships and things like that. So that is my momentum moment today. And I hope that encourages you because I know as women, we're hard enough on ourselves. And I just want to encourage you that don't overthink it. Just be yourself. And you will find people that will just love and adore you for who you are. Hey, Missy, thank you. All right, y'all. I am going to jump off of here and I'm going to go dye some yarn. I can't wait. So I hope that y'all have a fantastic week and I will be back next Wednesday. And until then, happy crocheting. Bye, y'all.